Hey folks, hey, Roland Martin here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Knots. What is the #1 knot of the whole world? Well, it's the fisherman's knot. What's the fisherman's knot? Well, the fisherman's knot is really a clinch knot. And that's a clinch knot, whether it's a 5-turn clinch knot or a 7-turn clinch knot, whether it's an improved clinch knot, whether it's a double improved clinch knot. A clinch knot is a clinch knot, and I'm going to show you different ways of tying it. Number one, I tie it a lot on just to say a 10-pound monofilament. The #1 line in the whole world, if you were to look at all the line that's sold in the whole world, probably a 10-pound monofilament would probably lead the pack. So I'm going to start off with showing you how to tie a simple clinch knot or an improved clinch knot or even a double improved clinch knot with a 10-pound line. And then there's all of the new braid. Now what can we do with the new braid? Can we tie the regular clinch knot, or do we have to go to a double improved clinch knot? Or just what do we do with the braid? Well, we'll explain all that. But let's first start off with a simple, regular clinch knot. What is a clinch knot? Let's just take this line right here, and I'll just start with this little scenario. And I'll just come through the eye of this jig. Okay, now with this jig, I'm going to take this lighter line, and I'm going to come through the eye of the hook of the jig. And I'm just going to put my finger over this area here, and I'm going to wrap it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now this is a light line. This is just a light 10-pound test line. I'm just going to pull it through there and just pull it tight. Well, now that's the regular clinch knot. That's not a double improved clinch knot. That's not any kind of improved anything. It's just a 7-turn clinch knot. I can trim that off as well. Okay, now that clinch knot is about 90% or so. Okay, I just showed you the regular clinch knot. I'm just going to take this knife and cut this line off this jig just to show you. Okay, now we've tried some lighter line and we've tried some heavier line. And by the way, the fluorocarbon and the monofilament tie about the same. So I'm not going to go through the fluorocarbon routine. But what about braid? Now, braid's a different animal. Braid, they don't recommend a simple clinch knot for braid. I tell you, it just is not a strong connection. For example, I could come through the line, I'm going to show you here again, through the eye of the jig, put my finger in position and wrap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, they don't really recommend a clinch knot for braid. It's just not quite strong enough. I've got to get my glasses on. But I can pull this out, pull it up tight, and that for right now is pretty good. But that was just a simple 7-turn clinch knot on braid, and that's not really what they recommend on braid. That's not the best knot for braid. So let's not tie a simple 5 or 6 or 7-turn clinch knot on braid. Let's just not do that. Okay, that's my point. They don't recommend that. Let's go to the next knot. Okay, folks, let's go to the second knot. Let's go to the improved clinch knot. Let's start with the lighter line and go to a 7-turn improved clinch knot. Okay, let me show you how I do that. Okay, on the improved clinch knot, I come through the eye of the jig, put my finger in position, wrap it 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, come through the first loop that I made with my finger, through the first loop with my finger, and come through the second loop that I just made behind that. Okay, now pull the whole thing tight and wet it. I'm going to wet it. I just wetted it with my mouth. Okay, folks, we did the improved clinch with the monofilament and the fluorocarbon. Now what about the improved clinch on the braid? Well, it is a recommended line knot for a braided line. Let me just show you how I do that. Okay, I'm going to come through the eye of the jig. Okay, I'm going to come through the eye of the jig with this 40-pound braid, put my finger over the loop, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come through the loop where my thumb is. Come this index finger right here, this thing there, and then come back through this second loop that I just made right there, and pull that tight. Now, pull the whole thing tight. Okay, nice and tight. Pull the tag end tight. Sometimes I'll put a little pressure on the tag end. And now, trim it off good. And these aren't very sharp scissors. I use a knife. I can take it with a knife. Good sharp knife will cut right. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's the improved 7-turn clinch knot for braid. It will work. Okay, it's I like the other knots, but it's a pretty decent knot. It's a pretty decent knot. Okay. Now we also mentioned that the improved clinch knot is not recommended for this real heavy leader. Okay, let's go to the third knot. What is the third knot? Okay, folks, we've done the standard clinch knot. We've done the improved clinch knot. There's one more clinch knot, and that's the double improved clinch knot. What's a double improved clinch knot? Well, first of all, to make a double improved clinch knot, I got to double my line. So I'm going to double my line. I'm going to take about a foot of line and double it. Okay? Make a nice little loop right here. A double line. Now, let's come in. I'm coming through the eye of the jig with 2 lines, a double line. Now I'm going to treat it like a single line. I'm going to go around it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was going 7. Let's just go 4 or 5 because it's double now. Go through the back loop that you made with your index finger, and then come through the loop that you made by your thumb. Okay? Now pull the tag end out. Pull the tag end out. Pull the whole thing down tight. And let's pull the tag in. I like to wet it. I'll wet it. Pull the tag in tight. Set the whole thing. Set it. That's set it. Double line. Okay, now you have several things to cut. You got the single line here. I can cut it that way. Boom. I got the double piece of line that we had right here. I can cut it right here the same way. And I got 3 little ends sticking out now. But it's the double improved clinch knot. Remember, you don't go the whole 7. You can only go 4 or 5. And that is a stronger knot than the improved clinch knot. And it's a stronger knot, of course, than the standard just 5 to 7 turn clinch knot. So a double improved clinch knot is about as good as clinch knots get. Anyway, okay, you can't tie it with the heavy leader, but you can tie a double improved clinch knot with the braid. So I think I've straightened out all the ways of tying clinch knots, because clinch knot's the number 1 knot in the world, the old fisherman's knot that they call it. Hey, it's easy to tie. You can tie it in the dark. Okay, folks, so thanks for watching this YouTube, and I hope this little knot tying adventure will help you out. Catch more and bigger fish. See you later.